I've decided not to add a bridge to my platforms. Instead, I'm going to use a subway. Now, I've decided to use the Peco line side kit, the subway staircase LK7 in this occasion. What I've done is I've kind of decided where I'm going to put it, and I've created a template. Hopefully I've measured this right. I've basically measured the space between these edges, total size, measured these about 3-4 mil, and then sort of drew a square, put the 4 mil reduction in, and I've come up with a template, and I've got to decide where to put it. Now this is obviously made of card and 18 mil ply, so I'm going to have to use a knife to cut through the card originally, and then I'm going to have to use a drill to open up the space using lots of small drilled holes, as I understand it. Once that's done, I should be able to slot this in, and I can build up the corners or the fencing around the actual subway itself. As of recording this at this moment in time, I'm not sure whether I should spray these first in some grey primer to make them less shiny and put them on. The colour of this, again, I'm not quite sure what to do with this actually. From a colour perspective, obviously it's moulded in this kind of beige colour. May have to go off and look at some picture, but I mean it's only going to slide in there, it's not going to be glued in, so I can obviously do some weathering work to it after the fact. Anyway, let's start with cutting out some card and opening up this area just here. So I've kind of got this in place where I want it to be, and the next step is going to be drawing this out. So I'm not quite sure the best way of doing this, to be perfectly honest. I'll put a little bit of a mark here. I can see it, that is, yep. A mark there. So at this corner, I've just got to draw some lines. And I've got those in place. I'm going to use my knife. Now I am going to change the blade on this because this has been used for a few bits and pieces previously. So I'm going to just use a nice new blade. And then it's time to do a lot of scoring to see if I can cut through this card. My worst fear, it went off at an angle where it's made a white gash mark there. So I've managed to get the first cover off. This does seem to want to fit inside there, which is all good news. Next thing I've got to do is drill it down. This card is really well stuck down with PVA, which is good news. It's not going to peel anytime soon. However, trying to get it off is going to be difficult. So I'm just going to actually drill that in. Drill that out. I'm going to try to use a relatively small drill bit, drill it inside that area, hopefully, and be able to cut, well, and then do whatever I need to get rid of it, hacksaw it out or something, or whatever I need to do. To do that does mean that I'm going to have to brace this down to make it level. So I've got a bit of 18 mil here. I'm going to drag this along. Hopefully that's going to support both ends. When I'm pushing down with the drill bit, I'm going to be all right. I'll film a couple of bits, but I won't bore you with everything which happens. That's taken a while to do, to get this massive chunk out. Hopefully I haven't done too much damage around the perimeter. Need to tidy up these edges, so I'm going to have to use a big file, I think, to do that. And yeah, I've been using hacksaw blades that I could get through the holes and cut with, which is a bit difficult. I've been using jigsaw blades as well, all manual. I've been using whatever you call this thing as well. So I have got there in the end, just need to tidy up. But I think it's time for a cup of tea after that. It's been about 3 hours of drilling, cutting, filing to finally get this to fit in there, although it is rather tight fit. Before I put it in, I'm thinking, what do I need to do with it beforehand? I think I need to weather it. I also think that this back side just here, I do need to paint it something like a dark grey or a black. I think is probably the best thing to do. Going back to this, I think I'm going to use some weathering powders. I'm going to try to just dull it down to make it look a little less plasticky, bright and shiny. I've got, I think, some dark coloured weathering powders that I can just sort of do a wash with, just to hopefully tone it down. Let me see what I can find, dig out of my stash and give that a little go. Fortunately, the pack comes with 2 of these. I'm not going to be using the second one because it will effectively inside the station, so you won't see it. I mean, maybe I will. I haven't really got the right stuff, I don't think, to do this, but I've got some of the old Humbrol weathering powders, and I've got, I think this is the correct kind of thinners for it. From what I can understand, you dab a little bit of the powders on the brush, dab it off, and the plan is then to use a brush and streak it down as if there was rain has dripped down inside it. I can only see if this will work or not, but I shall give it a shot and see what happens. So I'm going to pour a little bit of this thinner into here, and then I'm going to dip a little bit of the powders in and see how it all kind of looks. Fingers crossed. Brush it on, see what happens. So it is open to the elements. There's not going to be a canopy over this, so I'm kind of expecting it to look a little bit more kind of grimy. I've tried to get some of the edges a little bit darker. Apart from in the back there, I just need to put a bit on there, like so. And I'll leave that to dry and see what happens. I think the handrails, at this moment in time, I'm going to prime them. I'm going to spray them with a grey primer. They do look a little bit too shiny at the moment. They need some ink being done to them. And now I'm just wondering about actually, I mean, it's probably not prototypical, but I quite like the idea, and I've got some green paint, enamel paint. I could make them a green colour for a GWR. It's like I've been recently painted with a new coat of green paint. I'm just toying with the idea of that one at the moment, so you're not likely to see that result in the end video. But I feel we're making small but significant steps for the progress. After about 4 hours of filing, I've managed to get it in. Lessons learned, I should have cut the template a touch smaller. The actual length is just there, but just the leading edge just here, it is maybe a little bit long. Luckily there's a little bit of a overhang at the back. Again, could have done with just being a touch smaller. So it's in after it being weathered in the loosest of sense, is just to really get it to look slightly used. Now, I've got the railings, I've just primed them up in grey, in a light grey. They look quite nice actually, but I'm thinking I'm going to have a lot of grey. There's going to be grey lampposts in the area, grey fencing, so maybe the guardrails around there could be a freshly coated green, like they've just been changed to GWR green. Now I haven't got a GWR green, but I've got a green enamel, which is this, that I think, what is it? It's a Revel 62 green. I'm thinking that might look interesting to have some green handrails on there, rather than, I say, the box standard grey, as I'm going to have a lot of grey stuff going around in the area. I've cut them out and they're in the grey primer. I thought it's probably best to do a little bit of a test fit, make sure it all fits in place before I try gluing anything and making a total mess. Anyway, it all fits with the primer, so now it's time to spray it green, as that's what I've decided, and by the magic of video, there it is. It looks pretty good after a few coats, and it dried pretty fast also. So there it is, all completed. The green rails installed with the black darkness of the underpass. I think it looks pretty good. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, then please do hit the like. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell also for notification of future emails when they are posted. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye for now.